Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl The Quinn here, and I'm back with a new video in the series TQ Cooking Tips for the Blind and Low Vision. I received a lot of positive feedback from you guys for the last video that I did in this series, so I decided to continue it since you guys loved it so much. By the way, if you missed out on that last video where I shared general tips as well as techniques for storing, organizing, and identifying items in your kitchen, be sure to check that out as well. In today's video, I will be sharing tips and techniques for lighting and using the stove. But before we get into it, please be sure to like the video if you love the content, subscribe if you're new, and to turn on that notification bell to be alerted whenever I post the next video. Also note that the instrumentals for this video have been provided by Inner Sanctum Entertainment Ltd. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so last time we went through all the general tips and techniques to get your kitchen set up and ready for use. So now it's time to put your chef hat on and let's get cooking. Before we start cooking though, one major thing you would actually need to know how to do is to light the stove. Yes, I know that this is something that a lot of us are afraid of, but it has to be done. This can be a very simple and quick task once you take all the proper precautions and you stay calm throughout the whole process. So before we begin, I must note that I have a gas stove at home, so these tips are mainly based on my experience with it. However, if you have an electric stove, you can follow these tips as well. The only difference is that you won't have an active flame and you won't have to light a match. Now, while using the stove, we will need a way to adjust the flame or heat to the level that we want it. We can do this by marking the knobs on the stove before you start using it by yourself. It is good to use a sighted assistant, such as a family member, friend, or a representative from the Be My Eyes app to help you when marking the stove knobs. First, you would need them to tell you which knob lights which burner so that you can memorize it. Then you're going to need someone to use a durable sticky material such as a piece of Velcro, tape, or a sticky dot to mark the parts on the stove that will make the fire high, medium, or low when the knob is turned. This should be carefully done, as marking them incorrectly would actually result in you turning off the fire without realizing. I personally just have the extra low part of my knobs marked because I already know the other levels, and where the extra low part on my knob is just one little turn away from actually turning off the stove. Then, once you have your knobs marked, you are ready to light the stove. When lighting the stove, first ensure that the stove is clear of anything that can burn or start a fire. This can range from food, plastic containers, a kitchen towel, etc. Then, before lighting the stove, position the pots that you're going to light as best as possible on the burner. Make sure that it is well centered so that the flame won't be exposed. Please ensure that your pot handles are not hanging off the stove, as you can easily bounce it off the stove. Also, ensure that you position the pot handle that it is not close to another fire on another burner, as this can cause the pot handle to burn. Before lighting the stove, it is best not to have anything too loud playing around you, as your sense of hearing is a key factor in this process. Also, check to ensure that all the knobs on your stove that are not being used are turned off first. Trust me, you wouldn't want to strike the match when there is gas leaking from the burners. Then get the matches and position yourself, making note of the position of the burner that you need to light and the knob that lights it. Then take out the match and strike it. Quickly put it at the burner that you want to light, being careful not to out it. Then turn on the knob for that burner. You can listen carefully to hear if it lights. It will typically make a sound similar to this one. But there are some times where it will make the sound, but maybe the fire didn't catch properly and the flame will go out. I always like to double check by feeling the pot to see if it starts warming up. Once you have confirmed that the fire is lit, use the markers that you had placed on the stove for that knob to adjust the fire to the level that you want it. And that is it! You should be good to go. Remember, while cooking, make sure not to place anything flammable near to the flame. Also, remember to check to make sure that all the knobs are turned off when you are finished cooking. So that is it for my tips and techniques for lighting the stove. This is not something that you will get in one try, but trust me, practice makes perfect. So these are just the techniques that I use, but if you use them too, or you have other techniques that you want to share with us, you can let us know down below in the comments. Now that you can light the stove, in the next video we're gonna actually start cooking, so stay tuned for that. Also note that the transcript for this video will be available for download on my website and the link will be down below in the description. But that is it. Please be sure to like the video if you love the content, subscribe if you're new, and to turn on that notification bell to be alerted whenever I post the next video. Also, please share this around to all your friends in the blind and visually impaired community. So thanks again guys for watching. Remember that I love you and I'll see you next time.